Buffalo Bills training camp started today. What an exciting day to have the Buffalo Bills season right around the corner. And I call this the official start of season because I will be at training camp each and every day again this year. And I'll try to give you my thoughts after each and every practice. Well, today's practice, the biggest thing that I saw from today's practice was the energy, the excitement. I haven't seen the Bills play with that energy or practice with that energy before. And today was a real step up, in my opinion. After they did a lot of goal line work, end zone passing plays, and after every play, if the offense scored a touchdown, they celebrated that touchdown together with some pretty unique touchdown celebrations that they were practicing. And if the defense stopped them, Coach Babbitt ran out there on the field. I believe he dropped a couple of F-bombs yelling how excited he was about how well the defense looked too. So really, it was about the level of excitement. And the other thing that I noticed was Matt Milano starting out there at linebacker, and he looked good. The team wasn't playing at 100%, they're not going 100, but they didn't have pads on, but it definitely wasn't a walkthrough practice either. I felt like last year's first practice was a little bit slower and definitely not as full of fun. The guys just looked like they were having fun, bouncing balls off each other's heads, doing those touchdown celebrations, just happy to be there and to be there together and to be working on the team together. So that was exciting to see. Before practice, I noticed one thing was Cole Bishop got his head buzzed. He had those flowing locks that made him look like a pretty boy. Not anymore. He buzzed his hair. And he looked like he was ready for some football and at least some training camp football. And then I had the opportunity to talk to Coach West before practice. And, I'll go into that in a minute, actually. But I was very impressed by Coach West. The offense, Coleman had a couple of very nice catches. I thought they were both touchdowns. I felt like he got his feet down both times, but the referee said one of them was out of bounds. That was another first thing to notice as the training camp started. There were referees at the very first practice. The very first practice they had refs. I hope that continues throughout practice because I think that adds a lot to the practice because you don't have to have the guys debating, were his feet in? No, your feet weren't in. The referee just makes a decision and you go with it. Although, on one of the controversial plays today, I think you can even see it on the Buffalo Bills website. I saw that coming home. They had Kincaid's beautiful touchdown, and then they also had Coleman's catch in the end zone that the referee said he was out, but I felt like he got his feet down. But, judge for yourself. Anyway, Coleman was impressive today in that end zone work. Cook looked good. Dalton Kincaid obviously looked great. Dawson Knox had a touchdown. All of these celebrations happening. The only drop I thought I saw was, I think it was Shavers that did have a drop that hit him in the stomach. So you really need to catch those. But other than that, a great practice for the offense. The defense made a couple of stops too. Cam Lewis had a nice play. And again, without pads on and not going 100, it's really hard to judge on a lot of things, but I was impressed by our defensive line as well. So, going more into what happened, well, no, we'll keep that right till the end. As far as autographs for today, Dorian Williams, first autograph that I was able to receive, our linebacker. And you may remember that I got all of the players' autographs last year except for Edwards, Rapp, and Williams. So now I have Williams' autograph, but I wrote that on Twitter. And Dorian said he saw that. Dorian said, yeah, and you didn't get Taylor Raps either. Yeah. So he really did see it. So that was interesting and funny that he actually saw on Twitter that he was one of the 3 players I didn't get. And now I said, I can't say that anymore. And he said, you sure can't. So, and then the Olympic athlete, Gable Steveson, won the gold in the Olympics for wrestling. He is playing defensive line. He looks small out there, which is amazing for an Olympic athlete, but he did look small compared to some of the Buffalo Bills. He knows how to use leverage. I know those things because he's an Olympic wrestler. I know all those other things, but he did not impress me, not just because of his size, but the way he looked in a couple of the drills. But you know what? He's new to football, so I'll cut him some slack and hope that his progression increases and things. So, but a player that did impress me, I got his autograph as well, Deshawn Williams. Now, this is a veteran for sure. He's coming to the Bills. I think this is his 5th year in the NFL. Most of them spent with the Denver Broncos. This guy's got a smile on his face during the entire practice, and you could tell that he's happy playing football. And he said he was happy to be a Buffalo Bill, that he was really glad to be here. And I was glad to be able to get his autograph on that. One of my friends actually asked me if there was any way I could get him a Javon Soloman autograph. Well, I told him after I got one for myself, and today I got one for myself. I did give him the blue Sharpie to try to sign this in, but he asked if he could do it in black. I don't know what the difference is, but if that's what he wanted, I gave him the black Sharpie. Javon Soloman, rookie draft pick this year. I think he went to Troy, if I remember right. I asked him about his sack numbers in college. He had 16 sacks last year, which that sounds fantastic. You get a player with 16 sacks at any level. And I asked him about the draft, if he thought the Bills were going to pick him. He said he felt pretty good about it. There were a couple of teams that he felt good about, though, and, it was just really up in the air, and that he was happy to be a Buffalo Bill. Now, on to who I felt was the player of the day, and every day I'll try to give you a player of the day, but today's player of the day is a coach. And I got his autograph before practice, Marcus West. This is our new defensive line coach. He was an assistant coach with the defensive line last year under Coach Washington. And when Washington ran training camp, he would do a lot of things and tell Marcus what to go do. And then Marcus would do it. Marcus doesn't do that, apparently, because he just went in there and did it. And he was probably the most energetic and most active participant in practice today. I kid you not, a coach. His shirt was soaked by the end of practice. And he was going one-on-one with every player that he's involved with and making sure that they were pumped up and excited to be there and playing hard. And when they came back from drills, he was the first one to go over there and greet them back. This guy is a fantastic coach. And I was interviewed by two groups today, one for the Buffalo Bills website and one for WIVB Channel 4 out of Buffalo. And they asked me what I was excited about with the Buffalo Bills coming. And I said, after watching our defensive line practice under Coach West, that's what I'm excited about today, is what the Buffalo Bills are going to be able to do. And I thought Coach Washington was a great defensive line coach. Don't get me wrong. I know some Bills fans didn't really care for him. I am a 120% believer in Marcus West. And if something happens where you don't believe him, come fight me. Come talk to me. We can talk. This guy was in the trenches doing every drill with the players as they did it. Not taking a play off like two defensive players will go at a time. He did every one of them. And he's coaching and teaching what he wants to see on every play and encouraging, not discouraging the players. I can't say enough about what I thought about Marcus West. Now, I don't know, it seemed like there was a lesser crowd today, and it wasn't that hot out. I don't know if the way the Bills distributed tickets had anything to do with it, but it did seem like a smaller crowd than what we've seen in the past. the Bills stepped up even harder on their VIP access compared to general admission access. It's hard to get access to players. I did see Dawkins going around. I saw Cam Lewis going around to sign autographs. Josh Allen giving out high fives. You know, all of that's great and things, but this is the one chance that fans that are general admission fans have to have an opportunity to mingle at all with the Bills. And I was lucky enough to do that with a couple of players because I've gone to camp each and every day for the last 3 years. So I know a little bit about how to get access to a couple of the guys. There's a couple of guys I'll never be able to get access to. Just the way that the practice is formatted and the way the Bills set it up for VIPs to have the only access. I don't have any trouble with VIPs and their big sponsors getting extra access, but it seems like we forgot about the general admission fans. But that's all. I don't really want to get too much into that. But, you know, there's a lot of kids I see disappointed that they weren't able to get autographs. But and in the past, they had a tent set up where two players would go in there each day of practice, 2 different players, and kids would at least be able to go in there, only kids, to get autographs. And I wish they could do that again. No, one of the main reasons I like to get autographs is obviously I have the wall set up and I want to get a different autograph from each player. But it's the only time you can really have to interact with players too. Just that couple of seconds to be able to talk to the players, like to be able to talk to Soloman today and be able to talk to West about how he's excited about the season coming up and you know, talk to him about, you know, how I had talked to Coach Washington a couple of times last year and that I was excited to see what he can bring this year, and to be able to just share that story with Dorian Williams about Twitter and Solomon, to talk to him about his college days, and to be able to tell an Olympian that that he made me proud that he brought home the gold medal. And, you know, that's it for me. But for the Bills today, it was about fun. And let's hope they continue to have fun. Those touchdown celebrations, I don't remember. I mean, I know I've seen some touchdown celebrations in training camp, but each and every one of them, and to the extent that they were, that's being worked on. And they're having fun doing it. And God bless our players. I didn't really get to look much at who was doing what at center. Von Miller looked good out there today too. I saw in his drills he was able to get leverage without that knee guard on his leg. I was able to even take a picture of him doing that. And, you know, I hope he has a great season. I hope the entire team has a great season. And with that, I'll say, go Bills! See you tomorrow. And God loves you, and